Alright, today we're back on the test server and we're going to look at some units which are quite special for me because they have abilities that are things that I have requested or suggested in the past. And we'll get into that in a bit more detail after I actually go over their abilities. And the first unit here is the Hermit Crab. In the next shop phase we'll show what its ability is. It's not going to come into play for a little while, I think. But it is an incredibly cute sprite at the very least, so no problem at all bringing it onto the team. And Barghest, extremely strong unit, so we're going to end up winning the first 2 turns. So here is the Hermit Crab ability. Start of battle, if current perk is tier 2 or lower, copy it to the Golden Retriever when summoned. And actually here on level up we get one of the other units, but this shop phase isn't going to last long enough for us to show that on screen, so I will show it on the next turn. And it's the Patagonian Mara, which I'm not really sure what they look like in real life, but again, the sprite for this is incredibly cute. Now here we do end up facing this Roadrunner, which seems like it's kind of a broken unit. Yeah, you can see it getting up to a ridiculous stat line there for turn 4. Turn 3 even it was. But here it is, Patagonian Mara, faint, gain 4 trumpets, and summon the Golden Retriever immediately. So back when Golden Pack was being not reworked as such, but rebalanced to try and make it a bit stronger for 1v1, I sent in a ton of different suggestions, trying to make the best of what the pack already had without requiring new pets to be added or wholesale changes. And one of the things that I wanted to focus on was trying to give you more options to use the Golden Retriever, both in creative ways, but also just in ways that aren't necessarily easily predictable for the opponent. And obviously one of the issues with Golden Retriever in the current version of the game is that it's always going to be summoned right at the end of the battle. And especially in a 1v1 scenario, that's not great because it's incredibly predictable, and it often allows your opponent to play around the fact that you have that big summon at the back, especially since you don't have any way to actually protect the Retriever in the first place. Now I think the least invasive way to make changes to packs in general is to adjust the food. And at the time, Golden Pack had a bunch of issues with its food items. There's a lot of stuff which feels like it's slightly weaker versions of things that are available in the other packs. And in the end, we ended up getting stuff like durian to give you a kind of skunk option. Tomato, I guess, is supposed to be the crocodile option, although it's not the best. And even though it has been buffed recently, I still don't think it's very good. But 2 of the changes that I suggested at the time did actually already make it into the game. So we have Start of Battle Cherry, which you can actually see we have on the team here. And I believe Sag wanted the same thing, so great minds think alike on that one. But the other thing I suggested that made it in was having a dual function waffle. So in the original version of Golden, you could have a waffle that was completely useless unless you had bipeds on the team. And it would be incredibly frustrating if you rolled into double waffle and you didn't have any of those pets. So I just suggested that if it wasn't a biped, give it some stats. And that's what they ended up doing. I didn't specifically suggest that it would be a 3 health, but that's what they settled on in the end. And then the 2 other things that I suggested are the 2 pets that we're looking at now. So the Hermit Crab's ability, I originally suggested that there would be a food item that you could buy and it would activate a toy. And for the sake of it being thematic, I suggested that it would be a frisbee. And then when the Retriever comes in, the frisbee would give it a perk. And, there are a bunch of different perks it could be. And maybe if the toy had higher levels, then different levels would provide different perks. There are lots of different ways you could go with it. But ultimately, they decided not to go down that route. And here we are. It must be over a year later, is it? Maybe not quite a year. I'm not sure. But it's nice to see this option finally becoming available. Even though it is going to be customs exclusive, at least to begin with, it would be nice to see some of these trumpet pets added or swapped in and out of Golden Pack to kind of freshen things up. I don't know if they want to go down that rabbit hole of rebalancing the main packs too many more times. So the other one is the Mara, and the idea I had for that was to have another perk, which would be the dog biscuit. You can tell we're going fully thematic with these. And any pet holding the dog biscuit, when they faint, they would immediately spend all trumpets in order to summon the retriever. And essentially that's what we have here, except the difference is instead of a perk, it's on a pet. And of course there are advantages and disadvantages to that. You know, if you have a perk, then your unit is unprotected. And Golden Pack definitely does suffer quite a bit from having units that are pretty susceptible to taking either damage or ailments and so on. So yeah, having it as a pet ability actually might be better than a perk, but at the time I was deliberately avoiding suggesting adding new pets because I felt like there just wasn't the wealth of artwork that there now seems to be. It's actually strange looking at these runs and thinking how many new pieces of pet artwork there are in the game when, you know, back when Puppy Pack was being revamped, it seemed like there was hardly any artwork to spare. So we actually are using another new pet here. I don't think I've brought it into the team yet, but we're going to show its ability on screen. I say new, it's kind of a refresh of an old one. And it's Therizinosaurus, start of battle, give coconut perk to the backmost strawberry friend. So this is bringing back the old Velociraptor, except it's going to give the coconut to the backmost friend, which probably is a little bit better because you have complete control over where the coconut actually goes. But in order to use this, we're going to have to level up the Hermit Crab to level 3, which we have done now. And you'll notice that it already has the strawberry. So the plan is for the Therizinosaurus to give coconut to the Hermit Crab, and then when the Golden Retriever comes in, it's going to get coconut and be that much stronger. So we have to actually make sure that the Therizinosaurus's attack is higher than the Hermit Crab, which is why the cow is frozen here. And then I've got a bunch of other food items in the pack to help boost the attack. We are actually on 9 wins now, so we're going to throw. Yeah, we don't have enough gold, I don't think, to actually get the attack high enough this turn. I actually should also mention we're using Kiwano. I'm not sure if that's the correct pronunciation or not, but it's a new perk. We've put it on the Pied Tamarin, and that means that one of the snipes from the Tamarin will actually do 10 damage, which is an incredibly useful upgrade for a lot of the weaker pets, and I'm very happy to see that. So you can see what happened there. The Hermit Crab actually was given the coconut, but it was after it had already given the Retriever strawberry. So I really like the UI element that they've added there, where it shows you in advance which perk the Retriever is going to come in with. And I think here with these two food items, we are actually going to get the correct attack on the Therizinosaurus. We can take the level up on the Highland Cow to make our Retriever a bit bigger. So the Hermit Crab will get coconut, and then you'll see as soon as the battle starts that the coconut is stocked, ready to go on the Retriever. And we actually end up facing opposing Hermit Crab, and they have Pepper stocked with Nyala in the back, which is a little bit unusual, but it's actually their only trumpet generator. So the Retriever is going to come in right at the end with Pepper. But luckily, the Hermit Crab itself has the coconut as well, and we end up getting the win. So I actually don't know whether or not my suggestions were the ones that triggered the creation of these pets. I guess it's possible other people may have asked for these same things, but either way, I'm just happy they're in the game now. And it does seem to me that Team would have become a lot more receptive to the idea of putting community suggestions into the game.